Merhaba arkadaşlar. Sizlerle bu dönemin öykü inceleme dersinin sonuncusunu yapacağız. DBS'den de daha önceden sizlere bugünlük dersimle ilgili bir PDF dosyası göndermiştim. Umarım bakmışsınızdır. Bugünkü dersimizin kısa öyküsü Charles Dickens'ın güzel bir kısa öyküsü. Bunun üzerinde konuşacağız. Dersimin sonunda da ufak tefek bir şeyler daha, hatırlatmalar da bulunacağım sizlere. Dolayısıyla bu dönemi bitirmiş olacağım. Evet, eserimizin adı The Goblins and the Grave Digger diye geçiyor. In an old English town, a long, long time ago, there was a grave digger called Gabriel Grubb, who worked in the churchyard. Şimdi bu grave digger'la olmak üzere bir de gold digger diye bir kelime var. İngilizce'de çok kullanılıyor. Bu gold digger ise böyle insana sülük gibi yapışıp onu emen, parasını alan, ne bileyim işte yiyip bitiren anlamda diyebileceğimiz manada da çok kullanılıyor. Demek ki Grave Digger diye mezar kazıcısı bir kimse var. Gabriel Grubb isminde. Who worked in the churchyard. He was a lonely man and he was always angry. He had only one friend and that was himself. Dikkat ederseniz kimseyle de görüşmeyen, etmeyen, konuşmayan bir kimse. He looked at every merry face with a scowl of evil temper. Biraz böyle kötülük düşünen, insanların yüzlerine böyle kötü bir şekilde bakan, iyimser olmayan bir kimse. Which of course frightened the people and stopped them from trying to be friendly with him. Kimse de onunla arkadaş olmak istemiyor. One Christmas Eve, a little before it got dark, Gabriel put his spade on his shoulder, lit his lamp and set off for the churchyard. He had to finish digging a grave by next morning, and as he was feeling unhappy, he thought if he finished the grave he would feel much better. As he walked through the snow up the ancient street, he noticed the cheerful lights gleaming through the old windows, and heard the loud laughter and merry shouts of the people in the houses. Burada bir description yapıyor dikkat ederseniz. He knew they were busy preparing for the festival the next day. He could see the clouds of steam rising from the pots and smell the delicious food they were cooking. All this made Gabriel feel even more angry. And when groups of children ran out of the houses, laughing and playing their Christmas games, Gabriel scolded at them. He held the handle of his spade more tightly and walked on thinking of measles, scarlet fever, and whooping cough, and many other evil diseases which attack little boys and girls. Kızamık o dönemlerde çok yaygın biliyorsunuz. These nasty thoughts made him feel much better, and now he walked along happily. Soon he reached the lane near the churchyard. He had been looking forward to reaching this dark lane, because it was a nice, lonely place, and the people from the town didn't like to go there except in daylight, when the sun was shining. Because of this, he was surprised and angry to hear somebody in the lane roaring out a jolly song about a Merry Christmas. Gene bu İngilizlerin çok kullandığı bir tabir var. Jolly good diye çok kullanırlar. Yani harika, mükemmel, çok çok güzel diye. Jolly good. As Gabriel walked on and the voice came nearer, he saw it was a small boy who was singing. The boy was hurrying along to a party in the old street, and he was singing loudly to prepare himself for the party, and also to keep himself from feeling frightened in that lonely lane. So Gabriel waited until the boy came up to him, and then pushed him into a corner and knocked him on the head with his lamp 5 or 6 times to teach him to be quieter. And as the boy hurried away with his hand to his head, singing quite a different sort of tune, Gabriel Grubb laughed happily to himself and entered the churchyard and locked the gate behind him. He took off his coat, put down his lamp, and got into the unfinished grave. He worked for an hour or so quite cheerfully, even though the earth was hard, and it was not easy to break it and lift it out. Although there was a moon, it was a very new one, and so it didn't give much light on the grave, which was in the shadow of the church. At any other time, this would have made Gabriel angry and miserable. But now he was very happy because he had stopped the boys singing. Gürültüye patırtıya da gelemiyor. Yani çocukların bağırtı çağırtılarına çocuktur diyemiyor mesela. A most unusual creature. Ho ho, laughed Gabriel Grubb as he sat down on his favorite resting place, which was a flat tombstone, mezar taşı. Ho ho ho, repeated a voice just behind him. Pay attention. Gabriel stopped laughing and looked round. The churchyard was still and quiet in the pale moonlight. Gene bir description var bakın. The snow lay hard and smooth upon the ground. Not one faint noise broke the silence of this lonely place. Gene güzel bir ifade. Not one faint noise broke the silence of this lonely place. It seemed as if sound itself was frozen. Mecazi anlamda kullanıyor bakın burada frozen. It was the echo, said Gabriel Grubb. It was not, said a deep voice. Gabriel jumped up and then stood very still. Bu still kelimesi de çok kullanılır. Hareketsiz anlamda düşünün. Still, with amazement and terror. For he saw something which frightened him very, very much. Close to him there was a most unusual creature, sitting on an upright tombstone. His legs, which were extremely long, were crossed under him. Bacak bacak üzerine atmış. His thin arms were bare, and his hands rested on his knees. Eller de dizlerinin üzerinde. On his fat, round body, he wore a short cloak. Pelerin giyiyor bakın. All covered with strange colored designs, and the collar of his cloak, yakaları, was cut into curious points which stood up round his neck. Dik kalkmış bir şekilde boynunu